Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. How are y'all doing? Welcome. Alright, so before we get into what we're going to be doing today, I want to remind everyone that Alka Mortis is available for wish listing. It's the first line in the description below. It's a dark fantasy inventory management roguelike auto battler. So if that sounds interesting to you, check out the Steam page. Also, that's the game I'll be working on today and have been working on these streams for several months now. I also have my Patreon available if you want to support the game. The top tier will give you unlimited access to my course content as well as in-game Alka Mortis credits. So if you want to support the game, the top tier here is a great way to do it. But you can also check out the supporter tier here, which still gives you some nice perks like early video access and ad-free videos. So any future videos that I publish for YouTube will go to Patreon members first, and of course that will be ad-free, so no need to worry about YouTube interjecting stuff in your way. And then I also have my Udemy courses available for sale individually, so if you want to learn how to build a game in the Godot engine, those are a great way to do it. I have a C# course. I've got a number of GDScript courses. This is the most recent one. It's a co-op online multiplayer course that teaches you all of the high-level networking tools you need to know in Godot. So check that out if you're interested. And let's get into what we're doing today. This is new card inspector art. So new card inspector UI. So this is, number one, it's more thematic, but number two, it's also solving a bunch of the problems that the old UI had hierarchy-wise. So yeah, I've got this mostly drawn up. It may need to change a little bit here and there because it's not perfect yet, but the idea is we're going to start taking some of this art and putting it into the actual UI flow and making the card inspector actually look like this. And then depending on how that goes, we may extend this sort of like cathedral-esque motif to other elements of the UI as well. So we're going to try that out. I want to get this in-game and see what it looks like, see how it feels before I go too far on this. But yeah, that's basically what we got going. What it will look like when it's all filled out here is something like this. So the idea is this. The name here, since it can be a variable length, it's going to fill up a bunch of space in here, and then whatever remaining space is just going to be taken up by this pattern here. And then we're going to put the core tier, crit chance, crit multiplier, as well as the turn cooldown in these little windows here. And then the abilities will go in this section, and then flavor text will be in a section below that. So that's the idea. We're going to see how that looks, but yeah. That's the purpose of this stream, is to actually start getting this into the game and make sure it feels good before I add even more detail to it. So yeah, we'll see. Hello, Dusty. Welcome back. Always good to see you. Meep. Hello. Luca, welcome back. Good to see you. You can choose between fun and UI work, not both. Yeah, I think today might be a little bit of an exception because I do want to see how it's going to be to get this stuff into the game. I think it's going to be, for one, it's going to be an interesting challenge. And sorry, I'm just realizing something here. It's going to be an interesting challenge to get this all flowing into UI. And the thing is that this is kind of designed for a certain width. So the UI has to maintain this width at all times, that card inspector UI, which should be fine. But yeah, I think there's still a question about this section here and how I'm going to show the grid indicator. Yeah, but we're going to figure that out. We'll figure it out. Right, buddy? Right, Cat? Are we going to figure it out? Yeah. So yeah, I think this one will actually be fun today. If I had to guess, probably there will be some UI work. You guessed correctly. Hello, RN Genesis. Welcome back. Work as a front end, and I even hate doing UI in Godot. Yeah. Gothic pointed arches. Yeah, we got some Gothic inspiration here. Hello, Wooius. Welcome back. Looks good, thank you. How do you feel about really odd-shaped cards like... I mean, I already have some odd-shaped cards, but maybe you're thinking even odder than those. Hello, Rookie Tookie. Welcome back. An upside-down T or a chain ball in the shape of a Z. Yeah, I think so. The only thing is I'm not going to really do diagonals. So the card has to be like a Manhattan, right? Which means that you're not going to have one cell and then another cell that's like immediate diagonal. It would need to either go up and over or over and up. You know what I mean? So it's like a contiguous shape. But an upside down T is absolutely possible, and I probably will even do that. I think the only hard restriction I have is that all of my cards will never exceed a 3x3 bounding box. I think that that's kind of like the upper limit of the card size that I'll have. So the maximum size card that I will have is a 3x3 with all the cells filled in. So that's 9 cells, right? That's the most, but like I can do an upside down T that has a 3x3 bounding box, but it just has the left and the right column empty, but the bottom row is filled, right? And that would work just fine. I meant a Tetris Z. I'm not familiar with the Tetris shapes. Sorry. I guess the Tetris Z, is that just like I think I know probably what you're talking about. Ouroboros with a 1x1 slot in the middle. That is also a potential possibility. Yeah, with an empty slot in the middle. I never even thought about that, but my system should be able to handle that. I don't see why it wouldn't. Do you design your UI in A-Sprite and then convert it to Godot? Yeah, so for this one, what I did is, and welcome to the Stream Testament, is I took a screenshot of my normal card UI here, and then I just cut and pasted stuff out of this to get the sizing right. But for the most part, I drew everything here, and then I took those cut and pasted things and I just slotted them in to where they need to be. So yeah, I think that's it. But there's one thing that I need to do here. I need to create this. Oh, this is going to be... I'm already seeing a problem here that might be a little bit intractable, but we'll see. We will see. I don't think these highlightings are going to work that well if I use a 9-patch rect. Might as well fill these in too. Tetris Z is 2 high, 3 wide, bottom left, and top right excluded. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Would a 4x2 exceed the limit? Is the axis the limit? 3 to either side, or is a 9 square total the limit? It's 3 to either side is the limit, yeah. And the only reason is because, like, when you look at the enchant container, is that all these boards, like the upgrade or whatever, these are a 3x3. I could, like... I mean, I could just increase the sizes of these things if I ever wanted to support a card that's more than 3 cells in either the height or the width, but my kind of just general rule is that a 3x3 board should always fit a card, at least a card, right? In other words, every card in the game should fit in a 3x3 board, is basically the rule. That's a rule that can change if I find a need to have even larger cards than that. But the other thing, too, is that as the cards get bigger, the art has to be more detailed. So I think a 3x3 is like a good upper limit, generally speaking. Okay, anyway. We are going to start tearing this thing up. Oh, gosh. I might just have to rebuild this whole thing. We're going to start tearing this thing up. All right. We're going to get rid of this. I'm just going to start over, basically. Scroll container. Horizontal, disabled. Vertical scroll mode, auto. Now I don't remember what the size of this is. It needs to be at least... Well, +1 on either side. 193. And we're going to make this container sizing shrink end. Cool. I'm just thinking maybe I do want a panel container here. Theme overrides, styles, style box flat. Okay. Layout 193. Shrink end, and then we can change this layout. Remove that, remove that. Okay. Cool. So the first thing to do is we need a VBox container. Let's go to my assets, UI, card inspector. We've got this top decoration here. Probably going to want to make that a texture rect, I guess. Put this here. There's my top decoration. So I am going to need a margin container. This margin container needs to have at least 1 pixel on every side. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. All right. So we got the top decoration there. Now what? So there's a little bit of interesting here. There's these side panels here. So these are going to need to be... I'm going to need an HBox container in here. Also, this VBox container, this constant separation needs to be 1. Okay, so this HBox container, we've got the vertical side decoration. So let's add a texture rect here. Put that there. Okay, this HBox container also needs to be a separation of 1. Okay. So then we need a couple of things. We're going to need I'm going to need to set up a panel here. Panel container. What? Panel icon? What did I just delete? Did I delete the panel icon? Oh, okay. That's fine. Let's try that again. Panel container. Okay. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Let's do panel container card inspector. Am I just messing this up? Hold on. Maybe not. Anyway. Base type, panel container. Override the panel here. New style box texture. This is the part that I'm not so sure about. panel here. Subregion. Bring this over like so. Okay. Maybe that'll work. Maybe that should work. I don't know. I do not know. Anyway, we're going to need a panel container here now. This panel container, theme variation, panel container card inspector. Okay, that seems fine. So this is where we're going to need now. I guess I'll just put a VBox container in here. Yeah, that should work. It doesn't need to be that long though. Oh, that's the problem. This needs to be a variable height. How am I going to do that? Does it need to be a variable height? I think it should be a variable height. Oh, this is going to be tough. Hello, Ninja Link. Welcome back. Why am I so dark? Is that better? I find rebuilding is easier than modifying, but that just might be me. Yeah, I mean, for this kind of thing, rebuilding is definitely going to be easier. That's for sure. How did the Godot update to 4.5 treat your project? Also, any updates coming to the courses now that things are handled a bit different? No updates to the courses coming, unfortunately. But yeah, my 4.5 upgrade was fine. Yeah, not really. There's not much to say about that. It went pretty smooth. I would say. Hello, Jacob. Waterblade 64. How'd you make it so some tabs don't show up, like on your end where you removed 3D and Asset Lab tabs? You could go to Editor, Manage Editor Features, and then in here you can turn off main features. So if I turn off the 3D editor, that 3D goes away. You can also turn off the asset library. And then I also disabled in here, I disabled all the 3D nodes. So if you take a look, where are my 3D nodes? Oh, node 3D here. So I just unchecked those. So those node 3Ds don't show up in the add node dialog either, which is pretty nice. Hello, Jackie Daytona. What did I just delete? Yeah, this is why we use version control, for sure. Hello, Night Raven Games. Welcome back. Don't expand the panel container. Variable height, just stretch the pixels. Easy, surely no one will notice, yeah. Welcome, Chris. GW, by the way. Okay, let's just get some text in here first. Label, we'll call this mausoleum key. Let's go to the theme. Header label there. I'm going to grab this tag container and put this under here as well. Then this, yeah, we'll figure this out in a second. Probably going to want a margin container under this as well. Okay. Now I'm going to need, so this will be the, let's rename this to be the name container. So there's our name container. Let's add another panel container. This one is just going to be the decoration container. Let's go to theme, type variation, panel container, card inspector. This needs to expand. Layout, container sizing, expand. but we're also going to need another texture rect on the other side. Okay, perfect. Now there's a problem here, which is that there shouldn't be, well, maybe there can be a break there. I didn't design it with a break here, but maybe it makes more sense with a break. We'll see. We will see. So inside of here, do I have the pattern? Pattern alternate. Yeah, this pattern here. So what I'm going to do with this now is inside of this decoration container, we're going to add a texture rect here. We're going to put the pattern alternate in there, except this is now going to be tile like so. And we're probably going to need to modify the margins in here. So let's put a margin container there, put that under the texture rect. This margin container, we're going to take the constants here. We're just going to subtract 3. I think that will work. And then we need to make sure that this renders behind the parent. So visibility, show behind parent, perfect. So this is just, since this is just going to be empty space, that's essentially just going to be a variable size. So if I were to go to my name container here, for instance, go to my label, and I just wrote some more text here, test, see how that shrinks? So that's just going to be empty space there. That's just going to be filled up with a tiling image essentially. And that should work if it stretches vertically as well. So that's just to fill the space, really. Okay, that's looking all right. We're gonna have to address these things are a fixed height. I'm gonna need to figure out how to make that not a fixed height. I have an idea, but it's gonna be a little bit involved, so I'm not gonna do that just yet. Okay. So I'm gonna call this overview container. Okay, so now we're gonna need another HBox container. This one, unfortunately, is also gonna need those vertical decorations in here. And now my cat is screaming. Very nice, very nice. Can I work one day in my life, cat? Can I do it? Can I do it, cat? Okay, this HBox container needs to be a separation of 1. And then this is where we're going to do the fun thing. We've got this stat area here. So we're going to take that, we're going to take a texture rect here. Stat area. This probably should, well, actually it should be fine. Now we need to make sure that this is not scaling at all. Yeah, so that's going to be a problem. Actually, yeah. So this is going to be probably going to want to change this, actually. We're going to want a VBox container in there. Oh. How do I want to do this? Maybe I'll just make a margin container. Oh no, that's not going to work either. Maybe I'll put a margin container under it. I don't really like doing that, but maybe it's okay. Yeah, I don't really like that. Let's just wrap it in a margin container, I guess. We could even use a center container. That might be more appropriate. Put that in there. Then this center container here, we're going to do container sizing. We're going to shrink begin here. Okay, and then in here, what I can do is I can add a margin container and then a VBox container. Goodness gracious. And then we're going to do a turn. Where's the turn icon? Here we go. Texture rect there, turn icon there. Then we're going to add a label. Turns. We'll fix that in a second. Going to add another label here. Just put 10 in there. We're going to make this centered. We're going to make this text centered as well. Then this icon here, this needs to keep centered. Like so. And the last thing to do, actually that's fine. I probably don't even need, I don't even need that margin container actually. All right, so this is a, what am I doing here? HBox container, so this is the stat container. We duplicate that 4 times. And it looks like we are off. Why are we off? What is wrong? What is wrong here? Is this not preserving its width? Or is it wider than it should be? What is this here? Is this 193 still? Oh, I can't scroll. Here we go. 193. I wonder why that's not filling up the space properly. Interesting. Hello, Snupbelt. Thank you for the IDR 10,000. Very much appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Always appreciate that. And we got the message yummers. Oh, you... Hyla was trying to block it. Thank you, Snupbelt. Always appreciated. And welcome back. Always good to see you. Why not make the thin vertical columns also a pattern? Yeah, I think... am I gonna... Wait, is there a way to change that? Let's see. This texture rect here, can I just change it to ignore size, stretch mode tile, and if I make it, what, 2 pixels minimum width? If I do that, and I delete this one, oh, that'll work. Very nice. That's much easier than what I thought it was gonna do, or what I thought I was gonna have to do. So yeah, that stretches. Okay, so let's copy this then. We're gonna replace that with this one. Perfect. Okay, now we have to figure out why the heck this is not... How did this break all of a sudden? Am I doing something different? Oh, I do need these to merge. Right, because I created that extra one pixel space in between these here. That would be why. Okay. So we gotta go back to this overview container here. I'm going to need another HBox container inside of there with the theme overrides constant separation set to -1. I think that's right. This is supposed to be aligned. Oh, I see. These blocks need to be aligned with that. Oh, so I actually don't... Never mind. I was thinking about this wrong. I just need to add... That's still not going to fix it. I do need to move those over. So let me see. Okay, put that in there, HBox container. Okay, so that's aligned now there. There's an extra space here. Why is there an extra space here? Oh, I just got a random HBox container. Okay, that's aligned, but now we still are left with the mystery of why are the... Oh, I just need to move this over by one as well. Right. Right, okay, this, let's create a new container. Stats container. This is going to be the same thing. Margin left, margin right. And now we are aligned. Okay, perfect. Now everything's aligned. I like the tiles, but just one axis to worry about. Yeah. Stat area could be a panel. I heard you like containers in your containers. Yeah, seriously. Russian nesting doll containers. Yep. Hello, V. Welcome back. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Is there an easy way to have UI scale with different resolutions? Seems like a nightmare. Yeah. Yeah, it should just obey your scaling settings and your project settings. Count the pixel of a single module. I think I figured it out, yeah. The problem is that these bars on the left-hand side are supposed to be aligned with this, and then there's like a part here that sticks out. So that's really all that needs to happen there. I think that'll be okay. That looks good. Thank you, V. Yeah, I'm just working. This is more like Gothic inspired, obviously. So we're just trying to make this look real good. UI card inspector. Do I have the horizontal? I don't have a horizontal section. So in here, we need to grab this. Cut that out. We'll create a horizontal decoration. We're going to export those layers. Export. Okay. So now we've got the horizontal decoration in here. We just got to place this in here now. Okay. We're getting there. Slowly but surely we are getting there. Also, there's one thing that needs to change. Oh, maybe not actually. Does it need to change? Oh, I think what I want to do is here. This, I want to do flip V on that. Then also flip V on this. There we go. Just that it changes the pattern from the left-hand side. All right, we're getting there, we're getting there. Azir, what are you doing? Azir, What are you doing? Do you want to go on the stream? Say hi to the stream. Say hi. Say hi. No? Hi. Hi. Okay. All right. So we're almost implemented everything that I've got here. I basically just need to duplicate this horizontal decoration, flip H there. This section I have not yet, first of all, I haven't shaded it, and I also need this little decoration, so that's going to be interesting. I mean, really the only thing, I actually don't need to shade this because this is still the same panel that I already have. So really all I need to do is just grab this and somehow put that in as a decoration there. That's going to be the main thing that I need. But, let's see. I really just want to, let me do this actually. This will be the ability container, theme overrides, left and right. Let's add a panel container in there. This will be the card inspector container. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a VBox container now. And in here, we're going to instantiate ability label. Might need some more padding in there, but that's all right. Layout, container sizing, expand horizontal. Okay. So the UI, I mean, there's still more to do, but let's just see how that looks. Let's just see how that looks. Obviously the card inspection is not actually going to work. Oh, I forgot to do, there's got to be a little card section up here too, so I got to do that. It's also not sliding out, but that's okay. So that's what it's going to look like in game. You can imagine it sliding out. I think that's going to be okay. Let's get the card in here working. Maybe I should, let's see. Initial setup of new card inspector UI. Synchronize that. Is the cat in the game? Not yet. Maybe he will be. Hello, Blair William. Welcome back. Good to see you. Horrific final boss, or perhaps just a meowster. Nice. Can you make the stat block taller so the numbers can be a larger font size? That's the most important bit of info there. Well, I don't want to do that because it won't be pixel perfect anymore. So if I change the font, it would have to be double the size, and then each pixel in the font would be a texel that's 2 by 2 instead of 1 by 1. So I think I really don't think I should change the font sizes actually, unless I had a font that was just designed to be larger. So yeah, I probably don't want to do that. But welcome, Steven. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Idea: name and tag centered, scaling tiles on both sides. I guess you could make a large numbers font. I mean, I might be able to find a font for large, like that's built to be larger, but in respect to name and tag centered, I want to put the art in here, so I haven't done that yet. So how do I want to do this? I already have, well, I'm going to want, let's just duplicate this container. Art container. We can get rid of this. Let's put a card container in there. I forgot how the card container works. We want this to shrink center vertically. I think this just sets it to 1836. I might not even need the card borders. Well, the borders do indicate certain information, like whether it's enchanted or not. I don't know, we'll have to see how that looks. Oops, I just spilled water on my microphone and all over the cat. Oops, sorry, cat. Sorry. Games consist of so many... Hold on a second. Let me fix the microphone here. All right. Game consists of so many individual pieces that if you think about it too closely, you go insane. Just got to trust the process. I think so, yeah. In your opinion, would AI agentic development be of any value in your process to get in your way? It mostly gets in my way. The AI agent stuff for programming can sometimes be useful for sure, but yeah, for the most part, it gets in the way. For the most part, it gets in the way. So the interesting thing here is, we're gonna have to try this out with multiple different cards and see how it looks. Which wizardry is this? UI nodes master, pondering UI nodes. Yeah, we're just gonna keep stacking UI nodes. That's all we're doing. Hello, Clickertail. Just got back home from school. Welcome. Okay, so that's in there now. We can just load this as a placeholder so that doesn't actually load up. The scene tree looks insane, yeah. That's how it does. Enjoyed your editor tools video. Will you make enjoyed your editor tools video? Will you make more? Yeah, we'll do more tutorials like that. To be honest, I think those kinds of tutorial videos, they're very popular. They're even more popular than the devlogs a lot of times. And I can still mention Alka Mortis in the video like I did, so it can still drive wish lists. So I think I probably will do more tutorial videos like that. So if you have any ideas, let me know. You're one of my favorite Godot dev creators and developers. Thank you. Appreciate that, George. Thank you, and thanks for being here. Alrighty, so I wonder if it's worth it to start hooking a lot of this stuff up. I'm gonna change this name to root container. Let me just see what this looks like in game again. Okay, so none of the stuff is appearing, but we're going to change that in just a second. We're going to have to experiment with different card sizes and whatnot too, but the most important thing now is I got to get this little decoration in place. So let's take that out of the panels. Let's call this panel top decoration. And we're just going to give it some highlighting here. That looks fine, I think. We'll try that. So there's our top decoration, and then we're going to want this bottom one here. Okay, and then I will just fill this in here, and then I'm going to want to do that for the top decoration as well. Oops. Okay. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I may want to do... Let me think. I may want to just do a separate panel scene that has these. File, export, or no, scripts, export layers. Just like that. Save sprite, export those. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. So, can I just collapse this stuff? Here we go. Duplicate this horizontal decoration. Turn off flip H. This ability container here. Let's add a texture rect. Panel top decoration. Panel top decoration there. Keep. Okay, layout, container sizing. We're going to shrink center. And we're going to shrink begin. Okay, so that's not going to work the way that it... Oh, wait, maybe it will. I just need to change the... Yeah, I just need to do that. Okay, and then we can do the panel bottom decoration. We could do the same thing, except we're going to take this bottom decoration and then we're going to change this layout, container sizing, shrink end. Okay, we are going to want a margin container here probably. That's not right. I want this margin container not in there, but in here. Yes. Might as well make it consistent. 3 pixels all around. Might want to go an extra pixel, actually. All right, let's see what that looks like. Each time a player hovers over a card, 54 containers open over 12 panel scenes and 98 collapse funks. CPU at 102 degrees Celsius, yeah. That's funny. Okay, I think that's looking all right. I think that's looking all right. So then we're going to want the flavor text. I think I'm just going to be lazy. Don't tell anyone, but I think I'm just going to be lazy. Is the flavor text the last thing I need? Yeah. Flavor text is the last thing I need. So I'm just going to copy this. A flavor text container. We can get rid of this VBox container. And then we can just add a label in here. This is going to need to auto wrap. And now it's going to yell at me because it doesn't know what its size should be. What is the size here? 175. So this is probably going to need to be 175 minus 8. The skeleton didn't load. Yeah, I have it marked as a placeholder, which means that it doesn't load in-game, just so I can see it in the editor. Does this margin container not have... Oh, do I even need to go higher with this? I might need to go higher with that. So that's 12 now. 175 minus 12. Then I'll do the same for this margin container. Just keep all the paddings consistent. It might not even need to be... Maybe I will change the padding so that the left padding is not so much, and the right padding is not so much. Okay, that should work. Then this flavor text here, this needs to be orange. So theme overrides, colors, font color, orange. So now I want to see what happens if the scroll bar kicks in. So let's go ahead and do that. So if the scroll bar kicks in, yeah, it just does that. It just shifts over a little bit more, which is fine. Okay, so now we've got an inkling of what this is going to look like in the actual game. How are we feeling about that? Does it look good? Should I start getting all the functionality in place so it actually updates the properties of the card? What do we think? Are we feeling it? Not feeling it? Let's hear it from the chat. Does look good so far. Looks good. Could you try to add a 10% opacity background behind the ability text? I cannot do opacity. That's against the rules. But maybe I could do a background color of some kind. Just for the aesthetics to fill the blank space. Yeah. Looks great. I like it. I think it looks good. Maybe vertical center the name of the card. There will be tags here, but yeah, probably will need to center it if the card is longer. Pixel art rules. Boo, yeah. Yeah, just to recap for anyone that's not familiar, the rule that I've created for myself is that every pixel that gets rendered to the screen has to be one of the colors in my 8-color palette. So if I use opacity, that's going to create a mixed color that is not in the palette, right? So every pixel that gets drawn to the screen ultimately needs to be one of the colors in my palette. And you'll notice that that's in effect here. So if I open the inventory, that dims the map. But the way that it's dimming is it's not a transparent overlay. It's actually applying a shader to step down the colors in the palette so that it creates a darker background. And then if I do it again, it does that same thing again. So you'll notice when I open up the card inspector, it's dimming or stepping down the colors of the cards in the inventory here. So that is how I'm achieving my dimming effects. The turn seems off-center. Oh, it might be. Is it off-center? Godot thinks it's centered, but let's do this. I think it looks off-center because it's mathematically centered with its bounding box, but it's not visually centered with its with like the weight. I think it's because there's this one extra pixel coming off to the side here. If I were to shrink that pixel or cut that pixel off, it would shift over one pixel and then it would look centered. Yeah, you can see here. The reason it doesn't look centered is because this pixel is aligning here and this pixel is aligning here. So if this just got shoved over, I actually can probably fix that with just a little bit of hackery here. If I do 12 and then shrink end, no. Maybe I don't know how to do this. Anyway, I can fix that for sure. No comment, just joined. Cool art though. Thank you, Hayden Studio. Like it's just the icon's nature since the rightmost point of the arrow is inherently off-center is a circle. Yeah. So it needs to be visually centered, not mathematically centered. I may just go ahead and add a blank pixel to the texture itself to balance it out instead of trying to play with the controls to make it shift over one pixel. Okay, let's see what it looks like. I think the next step is to actually get this functional. So let's get everything functional. We'll see what it looks like with a bunch of different card sizes, because one thing that I'm worried about is like if like my mosquito swarm card is a 3x2, so that's going to take up a lot of space. I may need to introduce some logic that hides this decorative panel if this section is too big. But that should be perfectly doable, I think. If you center it to the top, it won't look quite centered to the text. Right. Yeah. That is a good point, too. Okay. So I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break. Let me commit what I have. So new card inspector structure implemented. So now what we got to do is we got to get all of this functional here. Which I think is going to be relatively straightforward. The most difficult part, the flavor text and the abilities are basically already taken care of. So we don't need to worry about that. The most difficult part is not going to be that difficult. It's going to be probably want to take this stat container here and make it a separate scene and then make it configurable so I don't have all this duplicate structure here. Okay, anyway, so yeah, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we will work on making this functional. So, BRB. Okay, I'm back. Well, the mouse hover card menu also looks similar. Maybe. Yeah, we'll have to see. I could definitely introduce some more like gothic elements for sure. All right, so let's get into making this work. Hello, Mun. Welcome back. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Good to see you as always. All right, so we're into the card container here. I think what I'll do is I'll take this. We'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of this, that. We're going to get rid of this flavor text label, this ability description container, this explanation divider, that, and this. Just remove all of my... Oh, I forgot the legendary label too. Maybe I'll just grab that real quick. Yeah, let's do the title label. Is that what I called it? Yeah, title label. If I just make most of these the same path, it should be okay. Do I need another VBox container here? I think I do. Containers in containers. This was what? A separation of -3. -3. Okay. So now we need to mark this as a unique name. We're going to get rid of the, or we're going to mark that as a unique name. We're going to call this decorative pattern. These stat containers, these are going to need to go. So I'm going to get rid of this. Let's save this branch as a scene. I'm going to save this in UI. I'm going to create a new folder. Stat container. We can just duplicate this a bunch. We'll make that functional in a second. This ability label, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to call this ability label placeholder. I'm going to access this as unique name. And let's just create a couple of these. So this is going to be enchant label placeholder. We're going to want the debuff label placeholder and buff label placeholder. This needs to be set to icon type ability. This needs to be set to icon type debuff. And this needs to be set to icon type buff. Okay. And then we got the flavor text label. We can mark that as a unique name. I'm going to also remove this. We don't need this to scroll that much anymore. Okay. So I think that's basically everything we need to mark as unique here. So let's go ahead and open this up. Title label, ability label placeholder, ability description placeholder. Ability description placeholder. What is that? I don't understand that. Oh, I forgot my ability explanations. Okay. Right. I think... duplicate those. Ability description container. Ability, this is the explanation container. Whoa, explanation container. I forgot what that looks like in here. Ability description placeholder. Oh. That'll work, I guess. Okay, so we got that tag label placeholder. We got the card container. Did I mark that as unique? Yes. So I marked that as unique. Hello, welcome back. Good to see you. Doing good? That's great. Great to hear that. Turn label, tier label. So these things are all going to go away now. So we're going to get rid of this. Enchantment container, that's going away. Buff container, that's going away. Let's move all of these so that they're grouped in the same spot. We're getting rid of this stuff. We got the root container, dimmer rect, flavor text label, ability description container. Do I need that? I guess I do. Ability, I'm going to rename this. So let's mark this as a unique name. This is going to be ability explanation container. We got the legendary label, explanation divider. We don't need that anymore. Okay. So now we're going to scroll on down. Get rid of those for now. Enchantment container.visible. This is going to be enchantment label placeholder. We get rid of this. I think that's going to work. Buff container, we get rid of this. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. We can get rid of this. Okay, let's see what happens. So now we should start getting some real data in here. And we're going to have to see what that looks like. It broke. Why did it break? Object reference not set to an instance of object. Ability label placeholder create instance. Ability label placeholder. Oh, I forgot to load these as placeholders, I think. Load as placeholder. Load as placeholder. Okay, that would be why. Okay, we still got some errors here. Also, I just realized something. This needs to have a VBox container in it. Set that separation. Okay. Object reference, flavor text label. Did I not? Oh, I didn't mark that as unique. Okay. Let's try it again. Reliquary, there we go. Did we get another error? Could not match member enchantment label placeholder. Oh, because I didn't call it enchantment label placeholder. I called it enchant label placeholder. Okay. But anyway, I think it's looking okay. Healed 10 projects to adjacent relic cards. We still have some room over here for that, which is good. Restores health, can be affected by critical modifiers. So I still need to figure out what I'm doing about these grid indicators, but I think that's okay. This should probably have a little bit more space. This VBox container here, let's change this to 8. Yeah, just a little bit more space there. Flavor text is not here. Why is that not working? The semantics got him. Enchant versus enchantment, seriously. Yep, that's why it's very important to use your terms consistently. Okay, so that is working well. We need to get these stats working, but this looks okay. Oh, the reliquary doesn't have flavor text. That's why it's not showing any. Might want to do like a bottom decoration down here as well. It could maybe just even be the same as the top here. Maybe some kind of just footer decoration there. But I think for the most part, it's looking all right. In before enhanced too, yeah. I think it's looking all right. What do we think? Is it okay? Is it all right? Looking all right? Just like Minecraft with Java having enchanting table and Bedrock having enchantment table. Oof. Yeah. I think it may be worth making the inspector go the full length of the screen every time. Maybe just make the ability section eat all the empty space. That could work. So you're saying in the case that it doesn't scroll, it stretches fully. So like here. Oh, there's also two dividers here. So I need to fix that. There's a divider here. There's extra divider here if there's no ability explanation. So let's do this. So I think I'm just going to delete this now. I don't need any of that stuff. So that's all gone now. This horizontal decoration, this one here. We're going to call this one ability explanation divider. We're going to do a unique name there. Node private texture rect ability explanation divider. Ability explanation divider. Yeah, visible is equal to that. Okay, cool. So that will fix that. Somebody said make this the full length. Is that as simple as taking this ability container and just setting this to expand? I think it would be. Well, I can test it easily, I think. Let me get rid of this, and let me get rid of... Well, that's fine. I can just keep that. This ability container here, if I just make this expand, that is not going to work. Is there a need to expand something else? Oh yeah, this VBox container needs to expand. So now that's expanded. And so now if I change this ability container to expand, that'll work. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see what that does. Yep. I'm lurking today. That's all right. Welcome, Asymmetrics. Always good to have you here. Yeah, I mean, how do we feel? I mean, that does create a lot of empty space, but I think it does look better to create the empty space there than to have an empty space at the bottom. I definitely think that looks cool. I want to try something. This top container here, this top decoration, I'm just going to, just to see what it looks like, I'm going to put that at the bottom as well. That might actually look pretty dope. Let's see. I like that. Maybe I'll flip it vertically so that this bar... I wonder what a V flip on that would look like. The shading would be all wrong if I flipped it vertically, but... Oh, maybe... Is the shading wrong? No, the shading is actually still... No, the shading is wrong if I flip it vertically. But we can kind of get a taste of what that would look like if I flip it. Oh, I can't... You can't see it because my face is in the way. Let's do this. How does that look if that's flipped vertically? So I got the little decoration at the bottom. Let me see if I can make this not clip so much. Thank you, Windows. How does that look? Hello, Rin. Welcome back. I wonder if the free version of Copilot's code completion count is the one they suggest before you hit tab. Otherwise, if you skip over it, it will still count. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I've decided to move in a direction of eliminating UI where possible instead of trying to make it. That can work. Yeah, that can work. Try decoration between abilities and flavor text. Oh, this decoration to fill the blank. It does look nice. I feel like the title and the filled box to the right of it is odd. Maybe fill that all with the title and tags and then center it to make it not look weird. Well, we got to see what it looks like with a bigger card too. Looks good. Add symmetry. Nice new look. Yeah, you like it? What node are you using to scale the root UI panel window to different resolutions? I'm just using control nodes. I mean, the thing is, like, it's always, this game always renders at a resolution of 640 by 360. So it renders at 640 by 360, and then that whole thing gets scaled up. So the resolution handling is automatic in that sense. Hello, Polaris. Thank you. Hope you have a nice day as well. We got to try this with a bigger card now. Test player cards. Mosquito swarm. And there was no room to add it, so it didn't get added. You can mess with the stretch settings in the editor. Yeah, I mean, if you set up your controls correctly, they will just scale. So here we got this all messed up now. So this mosquito swarm is 3 pixels wide, or 3 tiles wide. So in that case, what I'll want to do... Let me think. In that case, I'm going to want to hide the decorative container, I think. I mean, we could just try it. Well, let's just try eliminating this decorative container, I suppose. I kind of wanted that there because I think it would emphasize the gothicness of it more. But if it looks weird to you, then we can we can remove that. Oh, and then center it, right? See, I don't know if it would look good centered either because it would be a lot of empty space. So now the mosquito swarm, oh, it's still pushing over too far. Why is it still pushing over too far? There's a lot of empty space here. Is this tag container? No. Does this have a minimum size? Oh, this might have a minimum size here. No. I don't know why that's being pushed over. There's room here. Why is that being pushed over for the mosquito swarm? Oh, maybe it's this causing it. Oh, it might be that. It's probably the grid indicator here. Yeah, that's what was pushing it over. Okay, so that looks fine now. Do the centering thing even with art, the tiles on both sides. Oh yeah, so you're saying, so if I've got one like this, I could center these two and then have decorations on either side. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna, well, will that work? Will that work? Let me think. That might work. Let me try playing around with that too. Rather than blanks. I have to figure out what to do about this grid indicator. I might just have to come up with a different solution for how to display that grid indicator, honestly. It's just a pain in my rear and it doesn't even look that good. I like the asymmetry. I like how it is personally. We'll play around with it. We're experimenting, so we'll figure it out. I do like the look of this better though. I think the information is a lot easier to parse. So you've got like your main information here, like all the main information can be read just like in this top section here, and then all of this is extra explanation, which I like. I got a new mouse, I'm still getting used to it. Can't tell if it's bugging out on me or what. Actually, let me try something. I think I might have changed a setting that I didn't want to change. Okay. Asymmetrical is always more interesting. I wonder why you say that. Revamp the UI, yeah. Tell us what mouse? It's the Keychron M6. So it's basically the same form factor as like the MX Master 3. The reason I got this though is because it's got a higher polling rate. The MX Master 3 is feeling kind of laggy, especially in some games I've been playing recently, so I got the M6, the Keychron M6, and I like Keychron's products too. I've been really happy with their keyboard, so I was like, well, I'll just give the mouse a try. And I don't know if I like it yet. It's different. It's only my first day using it, so gotta give it some time. Switch to Linux so you never have to use it again, yeah. I'm a personal fan of the minimal UI, so I'm a fan of the way it looks now with the empty space here. I do want to try, let me try with the decoration on both sides though. I'll stage these just in case. Now I don't remember where that decoration panel was. Here. We'll call this right decoration container. Okay, so this, instead of this being expand, this is going to be expand now. And then this decorative pattern here, we want to ignore size, I think. Yeah. And then we'll duplicate this. Oh, wait, we might be onto something here. We might be onto something here. Now this art container ends up being a longer size. So if I do layout, what is 18? So the option here would be if this becomes too long, we just hide both of those decorations. I like using a mouse, thank you. Yeah. And then it makes 3-2. Scroll wheel on the previous version broke on me. This one's mechanism is lasting quite nicely. Oh, nice. Too much for me. So do we not like the decorations on both sides? We'll hide them if it's too long. I vote nay despite asking for them. I'm here for the chaos. Okay, so you don't like the decorations on both sides. Good morning, Neozoid. I've been lately working on some shaders. Could I get some suggestions for better and faster improvements? Just kidding. Yeah, shaders are difficult. Oh, wait. Get rid of this. Really? You don't like the decorations on both sides? Have you tried to Vim? They like throwing their mice away. No, I don't like Vim. I like my GUI. I like being able to click on things. Call me a basic B word if you want, but if I have to use a command line interface, I'm like, no, please give me a GUI. Like the new panel? Okay. You guys really don't like the decorations on both sides? Really? I think it would look nice for the card image to be a static size. I think the decoration looks okay squished like that. They did introduce too many borders since each comes with a rim. Yeah, there doesn't have to be a rim. Too cluttered. I like the empty space. Not a fan of decorations. Didn't really meant it. Yeah, I got you. I use Arch, by the way, to Fedora. Too much informations. Why are there so many turn counters? Because I haven't updated that yet. This placeholder right now. Fine. If you guys don't like the decorations, then I'm going to do some malicious compliance. I'm going to do some malicious compliance. Expand that out, and then what? I have an idea. I forgot what size I made this. Was it 32? Does it work as a bottom decoration? May also do this. Center that. Does it work as a bottom decoration? Have to fight us to the death. Whoever emerges victorious gets his preferred version. Yeah. The borders look weird now. I like the top decorations and grouping, but the ones on the side are a bit much. Decorations are pretty, they're just visually quite busy. Maybe a flatter look would work better. So the text gets more relative clarity inside. Not for me, still too much. Simple, not cluttered as much. Bottom is good. Great as bottom. Bottom looks nice. Sus. I still need to do this. Wait, why is that called flavor text container 2? Hello? Duplicate this. Okay. Turn everything into a soulless modern flat design, yeah. Missing out on the liquid glass trend. Let's redo the whole thing. Okay, I think that probably works. You know, I really don't feel it being too busy, because all of the parts where you want to read are like black. So I think that's okay. It's probably better than that this is all black up here. How does the... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I think that's okay. I think it looks all right. I think it looks all right. Sorry to say, but the test audience didn't enjoy the color purple. Redo everything. Yeah, no. The only good thing about liquid glass is being able to see what the slider's value is without a thumb icon in the way. I don't know anything about liquid glass. Okay. So, make card inspector functional. So now what we need to do is we need to get these stats correct. Here are these stat labels. So let's create a script for this. Script, UI, new folder. Okay. Private enum stat type. This is going to be turn, tier, crit, chance. Let's do critical chance. Critical multiplier. Export private stat type. Public override void ready. Export private texture 2D turn icon. Tier icon, critical chance icon, critical multiplier icon. Configure turn. Actually, I guess I don't even need to do this. I don't even need to do this. What in the heck? Oh, I need the... Okay. Title label is equal to turns. Dot text is equal to turns. Label dot text is equal to turn count dot toString. Configure tier. This is going to be description utils. Or no, I should move that into description utils. I think it's in game utils though. To Roman numeral tier. Configure critical chance. I don't remember what this text is supposed to be. Anyway, so we'll do all those things. We can get rid of this ready. Let's build and configure all those up. Is there a big card with lots of tags and or a big name? Would be good to test that. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't think there's a big card with a big name, but I think I would just make it wrap. As far as the tags, I think the tags would just have to wrap too. Because it's safe to grow the UI vertically, but it's not safe to grow it horizontally. So as long as I have room to grow vertically and I can wrap things, that's fine. You know? Okay, turn icon. Okay, so there's all the icons there. So now in my card inspector, this will be, we're going to call this, oops, turn stat container. This will be tier stat container. Critical chance stat container. Access those as unique name. That's where Copilot gets really useful right there, is just filling out that boilerplate stuff. All right, so now we got to go down to where I committed all this, or turned all this off. Turn stat container, configure turn count. Tier stat container dot configure tier. I guess I can move these up. Okay. Critical chance stat container dot configure critical chance. Critical chance. Just making sure that I'm doing this very carefully. Okay. Multiplier stat container. Okay. Let's see what that does. It does look all right. The top part was the main problem, I think. Okay, good. Liquid glass is the new UI trend for Apple. It's meh. This devious man is bespoke script. Somebody stop him, yeah. Okay. Why is that tier icon all effy? Maybe I just do keep and then I set this to shrink center. Okay, the tier icon is fixed now. This needs to be fixed. That's too offset. So is the tier icon. I think the crit multiplier and crit chance icons are good. Is there any benefit to C# if you're already familiar with Godot? No, it's just personal preference if you like the structure of C#. I don't think there's much of a benefit beyond that. Also, about the turn icon not seeming centered, you could bake the left padding into the texture directly. Yeah, I was considering doing that. I will probably do something like that. Hello, Link. I just started on a barista coffee game. That's interesting. Very cool. How is that going to work? Is that going to be like a cooking mama situation? Probably could use this text in other places, so I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. Hello, Artem. Finally got back to the course and finished lesson 70. Awesome. Great to hear that. Very cool, very cool. For anyone watching, I have Udemy courses, so if you're interested, you can check that out. If you want to learn how to build Godot games like I'm building them, then check out my courses. Do I listen to a specific playlist? It's called, the credits are in the description. It's called The Relaxed Movement. It's just a bunch of royalty-free, like, lo-fi music. It used to be the case that Lo-Fi Girl had in their terms that you could use the Lo-Fi Girl stream in the background of your streams, and that was perfectly valid. But what I found out now is that they've since revoked that, and so they've been going back in history and copyright claiming all of my old videos. So that's kind of a bummer, but now I'm just using royalty-free music. Oh, very nice. Yeah. Awesome, Hayden Studio. Icons have a left bias, especially noticeable on crit. See, I think the crit ones are, they look centered to me. It's just the tier and the turns that look off. I wonder if there's a better way to do this. Oh, I still have a custom minimum size set. That might be a culprit as well. I think the tier and the turn just need to go over 1 pixel. But then, yeah, it's not going to look centered with the text either. That's going to be the problem. Well, we could try it. I don't know where these icons are at, actually. Assets UI icon. Let's see if that fixes it. Yeah, now they look off-center with the text. The crit icons are really the only ones that look okay to me. No worries. Animali GG. No worries, no worries. Sorry, I meant tier. Oh, gotcha. The text also looks off-center. I think the text is fine. Maybe. This turn icon looks more centered. The tier icon does not look so centered. If I center it with inside of the panel here, it won't look centered with the text. Yeah, visually the text also seems like 1 to 2 pixels to the left. Do I think how the R and T's ending and a few pixels to the right? Yeah. I mean, I wonder if I could fix that. I might have to introduce a monospace font. Would that fix it? I'm using soft square. Do I have soft square mono in here? I do have soft square mono. Let's just try the mono font. We'll try the mono font and see if that works. Well, I think that fixes the alignment stuff, but now it just looks weird for this font to be different than this font. We're all nitpicking a little literal pixel. I mean, it is noticeable. Thought about just eyeballing it. Yeah, I mean, I can eyeball it. I can just make it look centered. But I'd have to do that. Yeah, I don't like the font either. I'd have to do that on a per stat container basis, which might be okay. I just have to figure out what I want to do exactly for that. I don't know. I don't know. I think, I mean, it's better. I think I really like this new UI for this. I think it looks very nice. It's just a matter of getting these little things fixed, I think. I almost wonder, what if I reversed the order of this a little bit? I do have to go in like 10 minutes, but... What if I take this HBox container, put these in there? Okay, and then I will do this margin container here. And then we're going to set margin top. I don't know if that's going to work, but let's see. That is probably not going to work. Nope, that doesn't work. I don't think that works. The tier looks weird. Maybe I'll just come up with a different tier icon. I don't think that new layout works though. So I'm going to go back. Love shaders, need to have zero idea how to make one. Yeah. Min width and center. I don't know if that's going to work either. Hello, Hurtwolf. Ended up converting my add-on just to be a tool, much easier now. I'm so glad I found a way to manage theme types easier with resources. Added a button on them as well that updates the theme. Awesome, yeah. I'm assuming, yeah, you watched my new tool tutorial. Very cool. Feels like the text is even off-center with its bounding box. Like there's extra pixels on the bottom and right, but that seems like it might just be a Godot thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, part of it too is that there's a shadow on the text, so I don't know if that's making it look visually different or if it's actually changing the bounding box. I don't know. It's hard to say. Thank you, Hurtwolf. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, well, I got to get going. I have a meeting that I need to get to in 8 minutes, so I'm going to do that. Could be the font itself having the pixel shadow. Yeah, it might be. I might just, you know what I might do is I might just try to create new icons that fit, because I could actually probably make the icons bigger. And I think the icons being bigger, number one, I can carefully draw them to be like visually balanced, but also I have more space generally speaking, so I can actually make these bigger. That might work, and then I could collapse there's no reason for there to be this much space between these the items here. So if I shrink this space down a little bit and make the icons bigger, that might just fix the issue. So we'll have to see. Text is off-center too. Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be it's mathematically centered, but it's probably visually off-center because it's not doing it right. If I plan on translating, you may need extra space for the text. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided on translation yet. I don't even know how I would do that. But we'll figure it out later. We will figure it out later. I mean, the absolute worst case scenario is I can actually make this panel bigger and make each of these areas bigger so I have more room to write text. Put these on one line, but we'll see. Need simplified Chinese. Yeah, I have no idea how it's going to work. No idea if I do that. Anyway, that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. If you are interested, please check out Alchemortis on Steam. That's the game I'm working on right now. It's available for wish listing, so I'd appreciate it if you would do that. I've also got the Patreon and the Discord and a bunch of other stuff linked in the description below, so there's all the ways that you can support me. Very much appreciate you all being here. Thank you for working through the UI with me. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Hope you have a good day, and yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.